Good afternoon, I'm up at the plots on a Friday afternoon. It's a glorious day and the plan today is to take down the French beans. They're coming to an end now, and any seeds that are left on, I'm just going to save them for next year. I'm just going to tidy the area up a little bit, so I should get on with that now. As you can see, they're all starting to die off now. There's still plenty of French beans on there, so any that look reasonable I should take. But as you can see, there's a lot of them there that have started to dry off, so they're going to be perfect for next year's seed. And I think they're the Allotment beans are starting to come through, so I shall start picking them either this weekend or next weekend. And then when they've gone, I shall take them down, leave the roots in the ground as usual, and then get this area tidied up. So make a start. This is what I managed to get off the French beans. It's got a nice tray of French beans there. Picked out the best ones and the rest I'm saving for seed. And I finally found one of my outdoor tomatoes that's been buried under all the French bean plants. So I've got some off there. I'm going to ripen them off. Some are ready. The rest I'll just ripen them off at home or make some green tomato chutney. I'm pretty sure you can use purple tomatoes in green tomato chutney. And I found a courgette. Again, the plant was hidden, so I didn't even know it was under there. So I'm just going to chop up all the leaves, put them in the compost bin, dig over the land and then cover it over. I've brought the French beans up from the other plot and I've put them in these cardboard boxes to dry them out in the polytunnel for a week or two. As you can see, some of them are starting to go brown already, and the skin's getting papery. So hopefully in a couple of weeks I should be able to start harvesting those and getting them put in the beds for my green manure. Good morning, it's Saturday morning and I'm going to start today off with planting some beetroot that I've had in these plugs for a couple of weeks now. I'm just going to put them in the raised bed that's just behind me. Hopefully they should be out before we get the real bad weather. So I should get on with that now, and that'll be the first job for the day. That was pretty quick and easy. There's 4 rows of 5. I don't want them to grow really big, so I've sown them quite close together, and it's a Cardeal is the type. I'm just going to put one of the covers over the top, just to give them a little bit of protection today because it's quite windy and pretty cold, and I give them the best chance that I can. The compost that I put them in was a little bit dry as well, so I've given them a really good soak in, and I'll probably water them again before I go home. But by putting the cover on, it's going to stop the wind from taking all the moisture out of the water. Well, that's the plan anyway. The next little job I want to do is I want to put some canes on top of the hoops to take the netting off the leaves, because I don't want the butterflies laying eggs on the leaves through the netting, and it'll just strengthen it up a little bit. And then I'm going to give the bed a good weed as well. And then once that one's done, I'm going to give this one a weed, because as you can see, it's gotten a little bit out of control. And then once that's done, I'm going to hopefully move on to the fruit cage and try and sort that out, because that's completely overgrown. Again, in this bed you can see that my leeks have been absolutely decimated. There's a few of them that aren't looking terrible, but none of them are looking particularly good. And the outdoor tomato plant seems to be doing okay though. No signs of any blight. So I'm just going to give this a good weed over there. The scaffold netting is absolutely wonderful for keeping the insects and whatnot away. But unfortunately, when it's all covered over, you tend to forget about it, and you end up with a bed like this. But I think it's taken me about 10 minutes to get this looking how it should look. That looks considerably better. I've tied in some of the cabbages that were starting to fall over. It's going to stake maybe one or two more. I decided to take the leeks up in the end. They were, I don't think they were going to get any better, and as I've dug them up, it's not terrible. There's enough there for a chicken and leek pie for tea tomorrow, so that should do just nicely. You can see the holes in the stems. That's where the allium leaf miner has got in. I'm not 100% sure how to cure that or prevent it, so I'm going to do a little bit of research later on today to see if there's any way I can get around to. I quite like leeks, but out of all the ones, I'll probably put 30, 40 plants in and got 10 out, and some of those are looking a little bit rough, to say the least, but it's going to be a meal's worth, so I'm happy with that. And so now I've got this extra space, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these cabbages from the outside edge, and I'm just going to run a row straight away down the middle. So I'll probably get 2 in that side and 2 in that side. It'll give them all a little bit more room to grow. All done. I've managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 down the middle there. I had to get rid of 2, but I've chose the best ones of the ones that I've moved, the more compact ones, and pop them in. I'll just cover them over now, give them water. Might scatter some garden lime on top, so just wash into the soil just in case. Yeah, hopefully they should all take off and do well. I was just tidying out the second cabbage area, and some of the plants weren't doing too well. 2 of them getting along perfectly, but 3 of them, as you can see, got the club root again, just gnarled up and looking horrible. So I'm going to take them out. I'm going to move these ones more centrally on the tunnel, check the roots for those, hopefully they'll be okay, and I'm going to relocate these 2 somewhere else and put plenty of lime in. I've had a good check over the roots on these 2, and I can't see any signs of club roots, so what I'm going to do is I've filled up 2 buckets with soil. I'm going to mix in some lime, and I'm just going to plant these 2 cabbages in the buckets, and hopefully that should stop any further problems. This is a good example of what club root does to your brassicas. I've got 2 plants, 2 Savoy cabbage, same seed packet, planted at the same time, same soil, everything. This one, as you can see, it's got the club root. It's just a gnarled mess. It's a very small plant. This one, perfectly fine. Look at the roots on that. It's a massive difference. So unfortunately I've lost 3 from this bad. This one's particularly bad. So I'm going to plant up the remaining 4 and then strip the other ones down. Also found out where the slugs are living as well. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. Hello there, it's Sunday morning and it's time to tackle the fruit cage. It's got a little bit out of hand, so I'm going to spend an hour or so just tidying it up, weeding it and get rid of anything that's dead and dying. So I should take a few pictures beforehand and show what it looks like when I've finished. As you can see, the raspberries and the butternut squash have just completely taken over, and some of the cabbages are looking decidedly worse for wear. But raspberry plants just popping up everywhere. So it's time for a tidy up. We're looking somewhat better. I've got all the weeds out that I possibly can. I didn't want to go too much into the squashes and risk damaging them, but I've weeded this area quite well. Unfortunately, I think I've lost one of my gooseberry plants and the other one's just holding on, so I'm not sure what the problem is there. I've straightened up my tree cabbage, everything's looking quite good, so I'm going to go up to the other plot now and I'm going to tidy up the brassica cage in there, because a lot of them have gone to seed now, so I just want to tidy that up ready for next year. So this is a brassica cage, and as you can see, it's looking a little bit worse for wear. I think I can soon whip it into shape. Just get rid of some of the dead leaves off the ground, cut down anything that's gone to seed, and just have a general tidy up in here as well. The audio on this clip didn't record very well, so I'm just doing a voiceover. It's just showing the results of the brassica cage once it had been tidied up. That's going to be all for this week. I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next week. Thank you and goodbye.